Nurse Ratched. The program is on Netflix. It's called Ratched. 2020 Netflix. A synopsis. Our synopsis here at TFR Podcast Live. A nurse with questionable credentials is hired on at an insane asylum by a doctor who conducts questionable experiments, who's loved by the head nurse, while the staff involves themselves in the lives of the patients in less than professional ways. And that's when the horrific fun begins. Right? This is what a thriller is supposed to be, with enough horror and suspense to be a fan favorite before, during, and after Halloween. Ratched, with its Hitchcockian angles and music, should be a whoever is a fan of horror, suspense, thrillers. This should be your number one pick for sure.
And this is another Ryan Murphy production. So,
right now, Ryan Murphy does FX's
great job. American Horror Story. He did the O.J. Simpson. He did the Fosse. He did with the Hollywood, the one that's on Netflix.
Yeah, Hollywood is good.
I mean, the creator of Glee. He created Glee.
Yeah, but he's great at doing period pieces, though.
Yeah,
they give him the budget to do the period piece, because this is a period piece. This is set back in the 1940s after World War II has ended.
Did we mention Pose?
Oh, he did Pose too. Yeah, we've reviewed Pose. Unlike its FX brethren or related genre, American Horror Stories, it keeps at bay the gratuitous, murderous depictions to a less explicit nature. Use of sound effects and camera angles just above the action, with reverse angles, low angle looking high, tell the story. See the sound effects, and then you will see the aftermath, but you don't necessarily see, like in FX's American Horror Stories, you see it. I mean, it is blatant. It's to the point where you have to like cut it off and like wait for a minute. You know what I'm saying? Like you might even have to pass a week, just see a rerun or something when it plays again, because that's how engrossed it is. The best one that we saw was The Coven, right? Yeah. That was about the witches. The witches, and then the voodoo priestesses. Yeah. And Angela Bassett was the voodoo priest.
And Gabby Sidibe was in that one.
It was in that one too, right? Yeah. But then the one where we said, well, we're going to just have to let this go, because we went through the Roanoke.
Yeah.
And the Roanoke was like, we were like, okay. Right. But then the one that we said no was the one with Lady Gaga in the hotel. Like it just went, the first episode was just too much, and it just turned us off.
I think we watched up to like maybe four episodes.
But I had checked out probably around the first one. I said, I'm going to see if this gets better. But it was like, but this is a totally different situation. Where Stories relies on the gore, Ratched relies on great storytelling. This is a great story within period piece, right? Cast: Sarah Paulson, Nurse Mildred Ratched, Finn Whitrock, Edmund Towson, Cynthia, I can't read my own right, Cynthia Nixon, Gwendolyn Briggs, John Brions, Dr. Richard Hanover.
We know Cynthia Nixon from Sex and the City.
That's right. Yeah. And then Sarah Paulson from, of course, American Gothic is where we first got to see her in action, right?
And American Horror Story, right? She's on the
right. Yeah, she is a lot of those. Yeah. Judy Davis, Nurse Betsy Bucket, and Sharon Stone. Lenore Osgood. She makes an appearance in the film. A very pivotal character.
Yeah.
It's a twist in the story, right? Like all good thriller, those who do evil get evil done to them, right?
Yeah.
It's a must-watch for Halloween.
Yeah.
As most will be looking for something to watch because of COVID-19.
Right.
With all the different shutdowns because of COVID-19, people are going to be wanting to watch a lot of things, right? Story. So what do you think about Ratched?
Ratched is good. Like the coloring, beautiful coloring in the film, costume and design. The architecture, they did a really good job as far as like finding locations that fit that period. And when the film first started, we were saying how it kind of reminded us of like a Alfred Hitchcock type film. And then the location of the hotel and everything, it kind of gave off a Alfred Hitchcock vibe. So, but as we went on with the different episodes and stuff, and you mentioned the different angles, the cinematography, you mentioned how those were like Alfred Hitchcock type, like shootings and angles, and but yeah, they did a beautiful job. It's visually beautiful, like the colors, the backdrop. I mean, just like the city, it's well written. And I love the writing. It's like it keeps you on your toes. I mean, like it's like the conversation between Nurse Ratched and the head nurse.
Betty.
Yeah, they kind of go back and forth, kind of like throw darts at each other, like verbally. It's just well written.
Well written.
Quite entertaining. It's really entertaining.
Okay, so let's break this down, people. Story, plot, through line is a 10. Ratched. Ensemble cast 10. Ratched. Believability. It's very important when you go to period pieces that you get it down to the last. To look at that period, which is in the 40s, and usually it's in black and white, right? And to see it in such vivid colors is amazing. That's a 10. Editing and soundscape, sound effects, music, 10. It puts you in the framework of being Alfred Hitchcockian, but it's still original, right? Acting, emoting is a 10. Character arc is a 10. The use of California as a character, beaches, backdrops, that's a 10. Now let's go back to acting and emoting for a minute, because since American Gothic, Paulson has been good. And since Scarface, Sharon Stone has been good, right? So let's see where
was Scarface?
Yeah, she was the girlfriend. She was the blonde. She was the blonde girlfriend.
She was in a casino.
She was.
Yeah.
Who's the blonde? Who's the blonde? Look up the blonde girl in Scarface.
Michelle Pfeiffer.
Michelle Pfeiffer. That's right. Wardrobe, stage, autos. That's a 10. Death sequences. They come from out of the blue. That's a 10. Ratched is a 10. Right.